Hey guys, so in today's video, I want to go over why we chose to homeschool. So this could ideally be like a super long video, just hashing out like every single reason why. But I'm just going to stick with my top four that I honestly could just even think about right now. I'm sure that I can come up with more than just this, but here's one of them. You're literally seeing it. It is just taking our time in the morning. We've got nowhere to go, nowhere to be, fast. My kids can help with breakfast, and I can stay in my pajamas for a little bit. I don't like to for a super long time, but I could stay in them for a bit, and we're not rushed. So a slow morning is honestly so nice. And we have had commitments in the past where we've had like maybe one morning a week, we've had to go do something and consistently for a while. And oh man, the stress of just even that one day, like you would think that I would have it together because it's just one day. No, I didn't. I don't know how all these moms are doing it, taking their kids to drop-offs and this school and that school and daycare and drop the baby off with this person. No way. That and then go to work. Oh my gosh. No. This is not the life for us. And so this slowness, the spending time together, just I could not ever get this time back with my kids. My mom and I often talk about this. I'm a homeschool kid too, and so my mom homeschooled me and my brother and sister. So we often talk about this. Like, this is absolutely no hate to people who don't choose to homeschool. However, for us, we're like, we didn't really have kids to like send them off, usher them off to other people. So anyways, that's how I feel too. And my husband, we wanted nothing more than to keep our family close and just spend time together. And honestly, that's how we're doing it here. There's other ways, of course, if you choose not to homeschool, but this is a video on why we chose to homeschool, so don't feel attacked, okay? Okay, so that was reason number one, having just slow mornings together. Number two is building a strong family culture. Yes, this can absolutely happen if I were to send my kids to school too, but with just all these added extra hours in the day, the spending complete 100% life together all day in and out, like the kids are going to pick up on our strong family values and our culture and just like what we want to pass down to them. Of course, the number one thing that I want them to have, whether or not they remember a thing from their school education, is to love the Lord and to love others and to be strong Christians in their faith. And that's the first things first. And so our strong, family values revolve around being Christ followers. And so what does that look like for us in this stage of life for the littles? We're praying before breakfast for our day. And then we often read a couple Bible stories out of the illustrated Bible. I think that's what it's called, the Illustrated Children's Bible or something like that. I got it off Amazon and it's so great. Really great illustrations. It's literally in the title. But yeah, really great illustrations on some of these stories from the Bible. Whoops, I just dropped a tortilla there. And yeah, so we've been loving that. So we'll usually do that once I'm done eating breakfast and the kids are still kind of lingering at the table, finishing up their breakfast. That's what we'll do, and we'll often talk about it and revisit that later. But besides the daily Bible reading and scripture memory, hymns that we sing, besides all of that, of course, we're spending time with believers. Throughout the week, we're going to home group once a week, which is so fun and such a blessing. And of course, church on Sundays too. We don't do it all perfectly. Of course, we get sick or things come up, but we definitely try our best to revolve our whole life around the fact that we are believers, and that's what our family just does. Anyways, other than that, honestly, like our kids are picking up on the way that we respond to things, the way we speak to others, what we do on a daily basis, where we go, during the week, home group, church, hanging out with church friends. Like our kids see this, and I pray that they model it one day and that they're able to learn from just doing life with Bobby and I, with my husband. So this next reason, number 3, would be to build a strong sibling bond and just like overall family bonding. I feel like this kind of ties into number 1 as well, but so I mentioned that I was homeschooled, and I have very few memories of being at the table learning directly from my mom. Of course, I have memories doing it, but the majority of my childhood memories are not at the table. The majority of them are in the backyard, coming up with who knows what kind of games to entertain ourselves for hours on end with my brother and sister. We were all super close in age, just like the 3 of my kids are. And we would come up with the most fun games and literally not even enter back inside. No clue what my mom was able to do in all of that time. I'm sure she was inside getting things ready, prepared, who knows, just maybe spying on us a little bit, because that's what I do with my kids too. But yeah, this is like the most fond memories that I have, is just hanging out, playing games in the backyard. And of course, my mom would take us places. We were involved in a co-op, and we did all kinds of fun things, skiing and hiking around, and we did all kinds of things. But yeah, the majority of my memories growing up are just with my brother and sister, which, not to get too deep here, but we lost my brother. It's been 9 years. And so to have these super strong, like, memories, wonderful memories with him and my sister, like you can't recreate that. You can't get that back. They're just beautiful memories that I have now. And so I hope and pray that my kids don't have to face something like that, but I hope they can just be able to come together and remember like all the fun that they had. And so I'm in a way trying to recreate that for them. And then we kind of get into the last one, which is a bit more educational, like an educational reason. And number 4 would just be to be able to tailor my lessons and teaching to the individual child. No, I don't care what you say, but no teacher is going to be able to do that for all 28, 32 children in their class. Even if you're like, oh, well, my student is going into a class that's like only 15 kids. Well, are they really going to be able to teach your child the way that they really need it in an 8-hour school day? Which, by the way, that could be a whole other video. You don't need 8 hours to teach a kid. But anyways, that's for another day. I just love the way that I can watch. So first, we just have my son that's doing TK as of now, but I love that I can watch the way that he's growing. I know exactly what he's, struggling with. I know exactly what he's excelling with. I know, when to push, and I know when to back off. And it's fun. It's like this experiment that I get to just do. And yeah, it definitely requires so much patience, and I am not an expert because this is only my first year homeschooling him, but we're learning together, and it's something that we can do together. We can learn this together, and I can totally tailor his lessons depending on the day, depending on, we had a long night last night, so today we're going to take it easy, or he's doing great today, we're going to actually like skip ahead a couple of lessons because he's just like getting this, so there's just so many things that I can work around knowing my individual students. So these are just some of the reasons. Now, I could definitely come up with more, but these are just some of the reasons that we have chosen a stay-at-home homeschool life for our family. Thankfully, my husband has always been on board with this. There has been seasons where he's been like, well, maybe just elementary or maybe just elementary and middle school, but now we're kind of looking at this in the long run. And we think that this is going to be it for forever for our kids. Of course, we are going to be examining that every single year and just like making sure. But that's where we're at as of now. And I really can't wait to see where this journey kind of takes us together, definitely. So here we are at our lending library through our charter school, which we chose to go through a charter school because we get funds from the local school system, which has been excellent, and then getting access to this library, and it's just been so much fun. But I would love to do another video kind of telling maybe more in depth of like our homeschool methods and our homeschool like philosophy and such. So I would love to go into that and kind of talk you guys through more of the educational side and why I've chosen that. So hopefully if you're watching this, you are already somebody that's on board with homeschooling. Maybe you're on the fence. I don't know. Maybe you're watching because you think I'm nuts. Either way, the last thing that I want to do is offend somebody. So if you chose something different, good for you. But anyways, thank you guys for watching this video. I hope to see you guys in the next one as well. Please leave any comments or questions or what have you below. I will see you all in the next video. Bye, guys.